Hi everybody, welcome to another SciCraft episode. So today I don't want to work much on the zombie pigman farm anymore. It's finished, but I want to test out one suggestion that I got. Instead of using a skeleton and an iron golem, somebody suggested to use llamas and wolves instead. So have the llama spit at the wolf, somehow the pigman is in between, and hopefully the other zombie pigman would be attacking the llama afterwards. Alright, I would say we try this out here in creative mode real quick. If you get it to work, I would actually prefer it because it's easier to handle a llama than a skeleton. Because skeleton shoots the player all the time, this could get annoying. So it's probably just easier to handle the llama. But apart from that, there's not a huge advantage, so skeleton is definitely still an option. Alright, so should I prepare something? Or should we try to wing it? So we need to trap the llama somehow. Then it needs to shoot at the wolf. Does it do that by default? Okay. Seems like that's working. Okay, llama has bad aim apparently. Then we just need a pigman in between. I think there's still probably the bug with the projectiles that you need a certain distance. That would actually work one block off. Okay, so let's put the pigman here. And then we just need to trap the wolf here. Okay, the problem is the wolf is so small. How do we trap it while still having a valid flight of path for the llama spit? I would say we put him maybe on a slab. But he shouldn't be able to escape as well, so definitely blocks around. And if you put a slab here, then I'm not quite sure if the llama can still see the wolf. Let's try that. Yeah, almost as expected, the llama needs to have direct eye contact with the wolf in order to be able to attack him. So if we put the slab one higher, then the wolf is too low. Might be the time to use an enchantment table. Just slightly higher. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, the slab is definitely not the right block here. Okay, this definitely is working. I think I'm just gonna try around a little bit and try to find the perfect block in order to engage the wolf. Alright, so putting a trapdoor here on top contains the wolf. Alright, so let's try this. I added some pigmen here at the bottom. Let's see if they would attack the llama. Yep, seems like it. They also killed the llama. Alright. And it hits back. Nice. Anyway, okay, we're gonna replace the skeleton with the llama, and then we're gonna do a test run to see if it works. Okay, this is pretty annoying. I built up the same setup here at the top, and the llama doesn't seem to care about the wolf. Great. Alright, so after a bit of trying, I think I found a solution for the problem. I removed all the solid blocks and replaced the boundary blocks with trapdoors. So the llama actually thinks he has a valid path to the wolf. And now it seems like they try to attack the wolf almost immediately or attract him all the time. Okay, so this is definitely working. Pigmen around are aggro, but in order to get the farm to work completely, I definitely have to desync the pigmen AI. So I gotta fly away and try this again. Yeah, why not? Let's actually try that. So there's also something I was investigating, also in between, I didn't mention so far. We have some issues getting the aggro chain to work. So this is unfortunately not 100% reliable to get it to go. Sometimes the alarm pigmen on the outside are not constantly alerting the other pigmen. Okay, let's try this out. Oh, the pigman is gone, forgot to name tag him. But yeah, it was a question that I got in one of the last episodes. Type of pigman there doesn't matter at all. Just quickly need to name tag him. Always gave them really nice names, like name SD tag. Perfect. Alright. See? Okay, that worked immediately. And I noticed it's kind of helpful to get the aggro chain to work if I jump away immediately. And yeah, I think now we actually are lucky. The ones on the right that spawn... No, we're not lucky. Okay, it doesn't work. Yeah, that's the problem I was having the last 2 weeks pretty much. This is not 100% reliable to get the aggro chain to go. And I don't know why. And finally, it's working. I was growing desperate. I tried it about 15 times to get the aggro chain to work until I noticed that there might be an issue. And the issue is that the llama has a higher eye level than the skeleton. So I already replaced the block under the llama before we had a glass block there, soul sand. So the llama stands a bit lower. And now the eye level is actually under the trapdoor. Previously the eye level was above the... on trapdoor level, and then the alarm pigman couldn't directly see the llama, so they would never be angry at it. Okay, we just need to make the soul sand spawn proof, so I shouldn't forget to place a button on top of something similar. Technically, you can also place the button against the block here on top. It's just... No, okay, got it. Now it's also fine, it's also makes it spawn proof. Okay, but what it still doesn't work 100% is to get this aggro chain to work. It's fine in my opinion, so you try it 2 to 3 times usually and then it works at some point. But obviously it's not 100% satisfying that it doesn't work reliably. But I would say we built the farm now in survival, maybe we can keep investigating, maybe find what's wrong, or we can add something that makes it reliable later, but I can live with it now. So the way you do this, you need to desync the AI, so just unload the chunks, then come back. And then we need to anger the pigman. For some reason it's important that the player stands quite close to the action. So first I try to... Actually we need to kill the XP ops again. They lag the game. So first I actually try to add something at the AFK spot. They would open this trapdoor here from far away, but this didn't work at all. So the pigmen were never really angry at the llama. So for some reason the player needs to be near. I think this is just the mess of the pigman AI code. And then it sometimes works, but I'm not sure why it doesn't work 100% of the time. Also found out it is kind of helpful if you ender pearl down immediately again once you close the trapdoor. But I'm not sure if this is really helpful or if it's just... I mean, you have like a 30 or 40% chance. Sometimes you notice patterns where there aren't any. Okay, but that's how it works. So if it doesn't work, then yeah, just wait a little bit, fly away, come back, try again. It's a matter of a minute or two. Yeah, I can live with that. So we're back in the survival world after a few episodes of designing the farm in creative. By now I don't even mind it so much anymore that we spend a lot of time in the creative worlds. It's just the way I play the game really. In the beginning I thought, okay, it all needs to be survival because that's what the other YouTubers are doing. But by now it just pretty much reflects how I'm playing the game or what I'm doing when I'm playing Minecraft, and not so much just survival. So yeah, pretty much half the time I'm actually in the creative world designing stuff. It's just so much more convenient, and you get much better results if you do it in creative. Alright, enough rambling. Now we need to find a spot for the farm, and I was thinking let's just build it about 1200 blocks away from the nether hub, maybe in a direction we don't have a lot. If you go south, there's the big perimeter that I want to avoid. I think we have a lot of stuff already in the east, so yeah, why not? Let's go west about 1200 blocks and build it there. Maybe we can also add another piston bolt at some point. We have enough terminals still here at the top of the nether hub. Yeah, we can maybe add that later. Okay, but what we need to do first before we stop building is actually get a llama and a wild wolf. A tamed wolf wouldn't work, then they are not aggressive towards those. Luckily, We already have the llama setup. If you remember that, I think about 50 episodes ago, we built a llama breeding setup. I really hope we can find it. I'm quite sure we built an ice tunnel at some point. Is it that way? We should actually maybe at some point add signs to it. What does it say? No, that's the switch for bats and squids. Then it must be the next left turn. That's probably... yeah, that looks like it. What is this? Okay. That's new. Somebody was adding that. Wait. Oh no, this is part of Gnempon's contraption here with the Guardians. Okay. It's just another way to get there. Maybe try the next tunnel. Yeah, but now this is such a maze. I'm probably the person that knows his way around the SciCraft world the best, but yeah, we have so much stuff by now. If we don't use it, then you quickly forget where everything is. Alright, I'm quite sure this is it. Yeah. Yes, that looks like the llama breeding setup. Okay, wrong direction. Yeah, here we are. I actually have some llamas left over. I think instead of breeding a new one, I'll just get one of those guys over. Alright, now we need to get the wild wolf. We have two options. Either we try to fly to a random forest and maybe we can find one there, or we could actually use a facility that was meant for it. There's actually an ancient area of the SciCraft server. This was the third perimeter we ever made. This is the old spider farm perimeter. It was built, yeah, in 1.8, basically 3 years ago. And this perimeter was also meant for a passive mob farm. So back then making a perimeter was really hard. So we thought we can maybe repurpose it or build 2 farms in 1 perimeter, which by now nobody would do anymore. Okay, so this was meant as a passive mob farm perimeter plus spider farm, but we never put those plans to make a passive mob farm here into reality. But now it will actually become useful because there were some forest biomes on the side. So the area was chosen because it was a huge plains biome, which would have been useful to get horses. But on the side, there's a bit of forest as well in there. And I have this plan also now since forever to build some kind of a contraption to get wild wolves. Yeah, I still think I'm gonna do it automatically this time. I'm just gonna put some grass blocks down and wait for wild wolf to spawn and kill the rest basically, which should be enough for this time. But at some point we'll come back here and build a wild wolf farm. So the idea would be to get some spawning spaces to go and maybe send all the mobs to the nether and sort them there and kill everything except the wild wolves. So yeah, every new player that wants a pet dog can just tame one of those wild wolves that we have stored in the nether. But that's something for the future. For now, yeah, just gonna do the quick route because I just need a single wolf. Alright, so we got both a llama and a wild wolf over at the building site now. Actually learned a lot while doing this. For example, I didn't know that you can leash wild wolves. This is quite cool. Alright, so in total it took us a bit over 2 hours to do this. In case you want to watch that, I live streamed the whole thing. If I don't forget it, I'll put a link in the description. But next we need to build the whole thing. I think I'm gonna do a time lapse and pick out some nice music. Hope you enjoyed the time lapse. In total, it took us about 4 hours to build up this thing. Also, completely with everything. I was getting the wolf and the llama in there, and the llama pigman on the side. I had some help from methods in the beginning until I had to leave, and SciCraft was also helping. Alright, the farm is also working now. I ran into some minor issues you might want to fix. The first one is actually you're getting attacked here at the bottom when you craft the gold into gold blocks by the magma slimes to jump down. So we need to make a safe space for the player. So we're just gonna build something around in order to not get attacked. Then the second issue was a bit annoying to figure out. So yeah, we built up the farm in the live stream, and I was hoping we could maybe also start the farm in the live stream, but it didn't completely work. And the reason was that one of the zombie villagers it chose had a tracking range of 34.5. That's apparently just a tiny bit too much, because I was trying to run towards the llama still. Oh, didn't know that endermites don't take damage from the magma blocks. Interesting. Yeah, anyway, so I got another one with 34.2, and that one was fine. So I had to replace the 34.5 one, and now, yeah, it's working. So the aggro chain is kept up. Okay, then the last issue is actually the one that's gonna cost me the most time, because it requires to rebuild the AFK spot top, unfortunately. The AFK spot needs to be set up 3 blocks higher than it is right now. So previously we were standing at the height of the glass blocks at the bottom, but that wasn't enough to get enough distance to the magma slimes to despawn them. So they jump down, land on top of the bedrock, but if the player is not further than 128 blocks away, they wouldn't despawn. And this would actually cut quite a bit into the rates. So we need to raise the AFK spot 3 blocks higher, which makes it impossible to reach those shulker boxes. God damn it. Yeah, my flying skills haven't improved. I don't know. Alright, let's try again. Dealt with the ender pearl. In. Okay. So we need to raise it 3 blocks higher, which unfortunately means we have to rebuild everything, because this is just fitting barely under the build limit. That's already the highest block we can place. It's also important that the highest block is spawn proof, because we couldn't make it spawn proof otherwise, except maybe using boats on top, but I'm not that desperate. So there will probably be a possibility we need to at least raise the shulker boxes by 2 blocks, so we can maybe reach down a little bit and get to them. That means I need to rebuild everything here at the top and build it different somehow. Alright, yeah, I think I'm just gonna do that in between the episodes. And yeah, that's it for this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye.